Ryan, thanks for joining us here on the Silver and Black today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Cool, man. Okay, so for the past 25 years, the only way fans, for the most part, could watch out-of-market NFL games was to be a subscriber like me to NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV, and that was it. Now, the league currently has a deal. It doesn't end with them until 2022, but clearly there's an option to get out of it now for the 2020 season. Where are we at with it, and what is the NFL, what do you think they're going to do as far as maybe opting out of this, and what sort of different system may we see?
Well, yeah, I think that's interesting because I don't think Roger Goodell would have come out and even brought this topic up now if he wasn't thinking about getting out of it before the 2020 season, which is when that out clause is. So I think that that's when we're going to see some sort of change. Now, what they're actually going to do, I think it's too early to tell, and he hasn't really opened up about which avenue he wants to take. But I definitely think that we're going to see some more streaming-friendly, fan-friendly service out there, kind of like how the NBA does it.
Yeah, and that to me is I'm not a huge. I know you cover the NBA, you cover a bunch of sports. I'm not a big NBA fan, but I've always been appreciative of the NBA TV and how they handle it because it allows fans to watch it. As long as there's not a local blackout, those would still be in effect no matter what they do. Because if a local station is showing a game, you have to black that one out, and there's no excuse because people can watch it there. But what the NBA does and the system they have, what has taken is it that deal with DirecTV that's taken the NFL so long to get to this point?
I think that's a big part of it, yeah. I mean, I didn't realize that it had been 25 years either with DirecTV. I mean, that's a long time to be locked in. And for the most part, this hasn't been an issue until 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago at most, when people really started tuning in games on their phones or their laptops or things other than just sitting down on your couch or going to a bar and watching the game on TV. I mean, this is kind of a new trend. So I think that the NBA really jumped on that first, and you've seen some other leagues do that too. And the NBA, partially because of this deal, or the NFL, partially because of this deal, has just been a step behind. Yeah, and I think now they're finally starting to catch up.
Yeah, it's remarkable, and that's true. I mean, the whole thing with streaming has changed the game, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. People want to be able to watch the games. I was frustrated as a viewer having Sunday Ticket, and then this past year, I would go out, I'd pull up my phone to watch a game, and it'd say, "Oh, you can't stream that here. It's only available on Fox.com, or it's only available on C." And it's like, wait a minute, what did I pay for this package for? And so the way they structure that, and I get it, those individual broadcast networks have rights to those games. But have you found data that shows that fans in the NFL are getting kind of fed up with that, and this is coming from that, or is this purely just a money play?
I haven't found data specifically to back that up, but you see, how people talk on Twitter and how they are actually viewing these games. And you can see people start to get frustrated. I mean, if you don't live in the town where your team is, which, the majority of the country, you're not fortunate enough to live in that city, you have to find other ways to watch these games. But, yeah, I mean, they're going to have to upgrade this avenue and just move to a streaming service and open it up to everybody. And that's the only way to grow this league. I mean, everybody's talking about, the NFL numbers are down, people aren't watching the NFL as much anymore. This helps combat that if you just open it up to everybody.
Exactly.
Hey, Ryan, it's Kelly here. You talked about, we talked about streaming numbers, how the NBA does everything. How close are we to where it's basically just pay per game or per, team package to where, say I want to watch all the Raider games, I pay one thing and I get all the Raider games. Or say I'm out of market and I just want to watch one game because I've got a 17 parlay and I need this one to go in, to where I can pay, say, $4 or whatever and just watch one game on a streaming service. Is that something you see in the future?
I think that's something we could definitely get to in the future. I think with the NFL specifically, it's still a way off since they're still, locked into this television streaming deal. But I think that's interesting. You bring up betting and people wanting to watch just specific games, to have that option to, pay and say, hey, I want to watch this Raider game on Sunday and just pay, whatever it is for that specific game. I think that's something they could definitely get to. Now, whether they do or not, because they would definitely make more money if they just force you to buy the package for the week or the weekend or for, the season for one team, they can definitely get more money that way. So it's a question of if they want to open it up that way, but it's definitely possible.
Well, and like you said, I think for the health of the game, to me, the challenge with the NFL is shifting the focus away from what they've done an amazing job. I mean, $25 billion, right? The NFL has been focused on profitability and revenue, which is great to make the league healthy, and it's supposed to trickle down to the players too. We'll see how that goes. But from a fan perspective, it's things like officiating and access to the product, right? We see with Major League Baseball the disaster with them. Even though Major League Baseball ratings are still pretty good and they have a lot of viewers, it's impossible in Las Vegas. I don't know if you know this, Ryan. It's a good story for you to do sometime. In Las Vegas, we are blacked out of 7 baseball markets. So we can't, we cannot watch Dodgers, Oakland A's, Seattle, the Angels, the Padres. So every West Coast team is blacked out in Las Vegas. So it makes no sense. So the Major League Baseball is killing its own product by not allowing people to access it. So the NFL, I think, in thinking about this, I really hope, as much as I've enjoyed having DirecTV, I really hope that they do this, because that's what the freedom of choice, the ability to take it with you on a computer or an iPad or whatever you're using, is big. And you're right, they listen to fans. I know they have a great listening post. So the fact that they're listening and considering this, like you said, certainly would help the game continue to be popular and keep its edge.
Oh, yeah, that's huge. And, I mean, the other thing is, like, people aren't buying TV subscriptions like they used to.
Right.
Like, I know me personally, I don't have cable. I don't have a big DirecTV subscription. I just stream things. And that's becoming a very growing trend with millennials and younger people, to where you aren't just going to sit down and have a cable package like that. So if they don't jump ahead and make this available on other avenues, they're going to fall way behind.
And do you think with this, do you see this spreading out, and maybe they're going to go and kind of go with an approach where it's everything? Or do you think this is going to become more like a NFL TV, like NBA TV is like?
I think if it would benefit the league if they did like an NFL TV, because then they get to control it all. But with all of the deals that they have, it could be hard to structure that. So I think it would maybe make more sense, especially if they get out early for 2020, if they just open it up to, like, say, DirecTV and allow them to stream it through DirecTV Now or through other streaming services like that are already in existence. And then you can just jump and go. I mean, if they're going to launch like an NFL TV type thing, that would take a lot of groundwork, and they could be doing it now, but that would take a lot of planning, and it could take a while to get that off the ground.
Well, and Kelly brought it up. We were talking about this the other day in preparation for your interview, and Kelly, I think they'll go the route, myself, of an Amazon or something like that. You said, Kelly, right? So Amazon has the backbone. They have everything ready to go. They've already been streaming games.
Yeah, my whole thing was they brought this up to kind of let DirecTV know that, because Amazon or Facebook or any of these things that already have a streaming property already have way more cash to pay. So if this is just a stick up to try to get more cash, they're going to be able to go to an Amazon. They're going to be able to go to a Netflix. They're going to be able to go to those places that already have the streaming component in place, to where the NFL doesn't have to do their own streaming thing. They can just piggyback on the people that are already doing the streaming.
Ryan Young from Yahoo Sports. Ryan, thanks for joining us, man. I hope to talk to you in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, that was Ryan Young from Yahoo Sports. Check him out at Ryan Young 44 on Twitter. Write some great stuff for Yahoo. We're going to step aside when we come back. We're going to talk a little more about NFL marketing and other sports and how